Well, I've never done these before, but okay. What's up guys, Bona5 here. Welcome back to another video. Now as you may know, Total War Warhammer 3 is coming out. But we cannot forget the final DLC for Total War Warhammer 2. So that's why today I'm going to react to Cody Bond's speculation video of the Master and the Monster DLC. Which is a DLC focusing on the Dark Elves and the Beastmen. As you may know, the Beastmen, they're bad. I mean, I played as them before in Mortal Empires in Game 2, and I kept dying. So, Great Assembly has finally given them a second chance. If you guys remember my meme trailer, Kazrak was really mad at CEA not giving them another chance. And now, they have announced it. That's gonna be, I think, around April and May. So, we just have to wait. And for now, let us take a look at Cody Bond's speculation video.
With only one DLC remaining before the release of Total War Warhammer 3, the big question remains, who will get their moment to shine before we move on to the darkness of the Chaos Wastes? But with a Beastmen-sized albatross currently hanging around the Creative Assembly's neck, they stand as a clear contender for who will be featured next. And with every other Warhammer 2 race already having 6 legendary lords playable, except for the Dark Elves, they make the most likely opponent. So let's take a look at the first half of this speculation video that I'm calling The Master and the Monster, a name that came from one of your suggestions because mine frankly was rubbish. In this video, I'm going to go over what lords I think will feature for the Dark Elf faction in the DLC, what units they'll likely bring, and see if I can't even predict their mechanics for you, because it's always fun to theory craft a potential DLC.
That's true.
If it's against the much maligned and ignored Beastmen, then boy do the Dark Elves have the best lord.
Disclaimer, I don't know anything in this video. I'm just reacting to Cody Bond's video. I'm also saying that to you too. I just never done a reaction video of someone speculating a DLC for Warhammer 2. I mean, I have never done a speculation video before. Oh wait, I did. In my Warhammer 3 reaction video, I made a speculation on... It's not a speculation, it's more of like, I want to see in a game. Like, the factions we want, the new battles we want, and the campaign map.
Rakarth the Beast Lord, who you overwhelmingly feel will also be...
Okay, everybody vote for Rakarth the Beastmaster. I've never heard of him, but I don't know much about the lore of the Dark Elves. I'm actually new to Warhammer, but Rakarth the Beastmaster, that could be an idea. I mean, it's like the Hunter and the Beast, but it says the Druchi and the Brayherd instead of the Empire and the Lizardmen.
Be the headliner for this DLC. The Dark Elf army has always used enslaved monsters to do their bidding and fight their wars,
but
Rakarth takes it to a whole new level. As a child, Rakarth broke and trained a mighty black dragon. And since then, he's traveled the world hunting down and capturing the biggest, meanest, and most bloodthirsty creatures in the Warhammer world. I mean, there's no word that the Beastmaster does this with 2 ferrets and a fanny pack on his hip, but he remains awesome regardless. Once in his pens, Rakarth breaks the spirits of any captured animals and then bends them to his will and bidding.
This guy, he kind of reminds me of Throt the Unclean, but instead of mutating them, he just trains them and uses them as slaves for battle. I mean, the Dark Elves are famous for their slavery, for work and also for battle. I mean, in the Dark Elf army, we get like a few monsters in their roster, like the Hydra, the Black Dragon, Medusa, the Cold Ones, the Harpies, the Manticores. Comment down below if I'm missing something, because that's all I can think of. But I think there's more out there. I mean, I remember, what was his name? Oh yeah, I remember Great Book of Grudges video of the missing units for the Dark Elves. The only thing he shows are the Man-Flayers.
I won't claim they're trained well enough they can be fed by hands afterwards, but he definitely feeds them the hands of slaves just to make a cruel point. Rakarth the Beast Lord is also known to experiment on these animals and has created terrifying hybrids to overcome foes and friends alike.
So it's like the Beastmaster against an animal he has never tamed in his life. Looks like This guy's going to Spain, fight a bull. He should be called El Recarth Bislord.
At this point, I'm sure you can see also why he makes an obvious choice when fighting Beastmen, as what better excuse does a beast tamer need to go out and find new beastie boys?
That's true.
For a gameplay mechanic, you can expect something named like Rakarth's Menagerie. This would allow him to access a wide array of new beasts to unlock, similar to Dryka's campaign from
Wait, what? Dryka's
the recent Wood Elf DLC. You travel the world to unlock various creatures and break them to your bidding.
Yeah, that's actually true. I mean, you make your own menagerie, train a bunch of monsters, and then use them in battle. Maybe they'll use the same thing as the same mechanics like, what was it? But the mechanic will be in the video. But I believe the mechanic for Rakarth is like a combination of, oh yeah, Throth the Unclean's mutation mechanic. But instead of, mutating and creating, terrifying monsters, you train them and make them stronger. I think Rakarth has like a bonus for monstrous units. It's like Throth, just like Throth. Like it has a bonus and increased buffs experience for monstrous units for the Skaven. But for Rakarth, it's only for Dark Elf monsters. So, yeah.
It would feel something like a Pokemon Collect Them All sort of campaign.
Yeah, it's
that
true.
allows you to access feral manticores, feral wyverns, black dragons, and basically anything that goes screech in the night and then eats you.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that wyverns were also tamed by the Dark Elves? I thought only the Greenskins can tame them. Oh wait, anyone can tame them. Except for the Empire and anybody else.
If they used the dragon encounter system of Imric, random beasts would spawn around you at set intervals, and you would then move on to the mark and
that could be a good one.
Unlocking it for your
but
army
instead
or
of,
possibly
just
for permanent
dragons,
recruitment.
That could be also a good idea if you guys can hear me. Like, it's really like the Imric mechanic, but instead of dragons, you can also get other animals. Maybe some legendary ones, too.
What they need to do is say Rakarth found a nest of the beast or something.
Oh, yeah,
After
that's
all,
a good
the
one.
recruiting and raising of animals is exactly what Rakarth is all about. The Beast Lord was once even entrusted with the raising and training of a clutch of dragon eggs for the Witch King himself.
What? He is responsible for breeding black dragons to Malekith? What? Can you imagine like this? Like Malekith visits Rakarth's pet shop and he says, "Oh, I want a dragon, maybe that one." And then he gave him a dragon. Like, imagine Rakarth runs a pet shop and every druchi grants their own mount. That's so funny. I think that is how Malekith got. I don't know if this is how Malekith got his black dragon. Maybe is it because of Rakarth or something else? I don't know. Maybe he did the same thing as Rakarth. I'm not sure. Whatever.
The second part of this system would then play similar to Ikit Claws,
Oh,
where you
okay.
could raise, manipulate, and experiment on your furry army, possibly opening up unique variants of each that we'll get to in a later section.
Oh yeah, that could be interesting as well. It's like the Forbidden Workshop, but instead rename it to the Forsaken Menagerie. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna be a good title for his mechanic. Maybe the Corrupted Menagerie, or the Menagerie of Cain, or Cain's Menagerie, Cain Zoo, Zoo of Cain, Zoo, Rathart, Zoo Tycoon Cain. I'm being crazy.
The idea is they come up on the screen and then you can research specific bits and pieces to improve what you already have.
Okay.
Not nearly as extensive as the Master Mutator
Like I said,
but
guys.
with enough choice and decisions that it's new to the High Elves. Rakarth would also come with two unique mounts, a dark steed called Brachus, and a black dragon, also named Brachus, because when Caesar Milan, the Dark Elf here, stumbles onto a good name, he isn't about to let it go, apparently. For faction effects, Rakarth would have bonuses like a souped-up High Beastmaster Lord, focusing specifically on buffing Manicores, Hydras, and Black Dragons.
True.
And his starting position would be in the final, remaining, unoccupied Dark Elf Citadel of Karen Kar.
You know, if this DLC comes out, I have a suggestion for Legend of Total War. If this comes out, I would imagine a Beastmaster Doom stack, but Rakarth. That could be an idea for Legend of Total War if you're watching this video. If this DLC comes out, maybe you can do the Rackheart Doom stack of bunch of Beastmasters, or the new monsters that are gonna be added to the DLC, and also that Minotaur guy from last time. I'll show you. What was it? That Minotaur right there. I'm thinking you can do a Minotaur Doom stack, just like Okoi's video. Wait, can you beat a campaign with just that? A giant bull? Like, full bull Doom stack? I'm not sure.
And mechanics, and ties in well with potential new units. But Rakarth isn't without his problems. His biggest issue is his age. The
Really?
Creative Assembly has stated that they want to eventually make all legendary lords introduced in Games Workshop's 8th edition Warhammer Fantasy books to be available in the game. But Rakarth isn't 8th edition. He's not even 7th edition.
Whoa.
He's 6th edition, meaning he was created 20 years ago. So,
Really?
while he's a popular
He's
choice
a
to
very
go against the
old
Beastmen
character.
and boast fun potential mechanics, he's not exactly a shoo-in, as there are other 8th edition lords on offer. In fact, an entirely different style of DLC may already have been teased. At the end of the last Warhammer DLC reveal stream,
Yeah.
the Creative Assembly used holding art that specifically highlighted a huge statue of the dark elf god Cain.
Yeah.
And while Rakarth is
I remember
murderous, his association is nowhere
Yeah,
near
look
as
at
strong
this video.
as another lord in the cult of Cain, Tularis Dreadbringer. Dubbed as the Avatar of Cain, he's a murderous captain of the Hargoneth
Maybe he could be a
executioners
legendary
and works
hero,
specifically
or
under
maybe
Crone
another
Hellebron.
legendary lord
He appears in
as
the
an
6th,
FLC.
7th, and
I'm not
8th
sure,
edition army
because
books and
I
is
believe.
important to
Wait. Either Tularis Dreadbringer as a legendary hero, an FLC character. I think no, we're not gonna make him as an FLC character because that will make 8 legendary characters for the Dark Elves. We only need 7. That's it. And you know who will be the FLC hero? Boris Todbringer. Of course, we all know Boris Todbringer hates Beastmen, so Creative Assembly is bringing him back. I mean, he just feels bad he's not in the game and he's not that popular. But now, they're giving him another chance.
in the times, though oddly he was never given an official miniature. As far as lords go, he would be heavily melee-oriented with a giant two-handed sword. But while he is interesting to see on screen, even in
like
the
his
books he
model.
was downgraded to hero status. It's the same problem with another Dark Elf lord, Corin Darkhand, who, yet
Corin
again,
Dark-
was a hero unit in 8th edition and the head of Malekith's personal elite Black Guard. But where
Oh,
Tularis
okay.
was offensively oriented, Corin Blackhand is a stubborn, heavily armored, unbreakable spearman, and I wouldn't expect either one of these to even show up as legendary heroes for a Rakarth DLC,
I'm
as
not
they're
sure.
already pledged to other lords. But the existence of characters like this does make me wonder if one day we'll get a Legendary Heroes DLC that adds lieutenants to various existing factions. Mingle Manhide is actually something of an outlier. He's an especially sadistic leader of a group of Dark Elf mercenaries called the Manflayers. Oh, and he's a
Yeah,
cannibal. And he'd
Manflayers. The Manflayers, those guys. I think they could be a Regiment Renown version. Because the reason I'm saying they could be a Regiment of Renown version of the Shades is because Grave Vocal Grudge said it in his video. So I'm not sure if the Manflayers are going to be a Regiment of Renown or its very own unit. I mean, the Dark Elves really need new units, like right now.
with a more high seas adventure pirate theme, if this DLC does indeed go that route. As far as legendary heroes for Rakarth goes, he sort of makes sense. Both of their shticks are wandering around murdering things, and they're even from kind of roughly the same region of Nagarond. But he's actually already in the game, and a rogue army bears his name. Thankfully,
Mangoes
that's
and
rather
players.
easy to fix through renaming. But he is still a long shot, as he comes from the Dogs of War campaign book, but he would be very interesting to see. The most desired, and in many ways the most likely legendary hero, is Shadowblade. This dagger in the darkness has appeared in more Dark Elf army
Shadowblade.
books than
Look at
anyone
him, he's
except
so
Malekith
cool.
the Witch King. He even already
He's like a
appears
ninja.
in Warhammer 2, gracing the cutscenes of the Dark Elf Vortex campaign, but it's still unknown if he'll ever be truly playable. Many were disappointed to see the Skaven Snikch appear in-game, as he
Yeah.
basically stole what would have been Shadowblade's mechanic.
He's like a rat assassin, but he's a ninja of the Dark Elves. I want to see if this legendary hero, or maybe a new hero unit, added to the game, or maybe no, I'm not a hero, but a lord. Maybe we could get a doom stack of shadow blades and assassins, fighting stuff. That could be cool.
Instead, now it's far more likely Shadowblade will appear as a legendary hero at some
Okay,
point.
Shadowblade is not actually a lord. He's the name of the character in Warhammer. So he's gonna be a legendary hero. So okay then, just a legendary hero. I'm fine with that. If he was a legendary lord, I want to see a doom stack of all of that. But that will make again 8 legendary lords for the Dark Elves. We only need 7, not 8.
For a new Lord type, it's Black Ark Fleet Masters,
Yep.
as High Beast Masters were already included with the Malice Darkblade DLC. Fleet Masters here would be melee-oriented and dual-wield swords in battle for high
Look at
damage
that.
output.
Look at his
As
pose.
admirals of the Dark Elf Black Ark,
Look at him. Look at his pose. Like, he's a peg leg. This guy has a peg leg.
Why you bully me?
and improving Corsairs, Hydras, Cardipus, and any relevant new units that come with the
Cardipus?
DLC.
Oh, it's
When
Carabus.
CA
I thought
released their
Cardipus.
Black Ark rework, which changed how they worked in campaigns, they put Dreadlords in charge of the Black Arks.
Oh,
and
yeah.
These Fleet Masters would now replace out that generic general
Okay.
with something that could do things like, say, land on land and actually go pirating more than 20 feet away from a beach. For mounts, I'd expect a Dark Pegasus and a Manicore to help differentiate them from things like Dreadlords. And if for
Okay.
some reason they don't get added, you can always try this mod by Zoodad.
Okay.
New units, though, is where this DLC prediction gets
Yeah.
a bit trickier, as the Dark Elf roster is already largely gone over.
Yeah.
I could see City Guard making an appearance.
City
These
Guard?
garrison units appear in multiple Dark Elf army books and work as a hybrid unit similar to Lothern Sea Guard.
Yeah.
Half of the regiment are equipped with spears, and the other half with repeating crossbows. They're not very
Okay.
flashy.
It's like you combine the crossbow Dark Elves and the Dread Spears, and then you mash them together, and you get this unit. That could be really cool. Lothern Sea Guards versus what's their names? City Guard. I think we can change the name. Druchi City Guards. That could be good. Like Druchi City Guards versus Lothern Sea Guards. Ha ha ha! Perfect.
They're not very flashy, and they may seem derivative, but they still feel useful and double down on that ranged, heavy damage style that the Dark Elves favor. Drach Masters would be upgraded executioners, like how
Whoa,
Blade
look at this
Singers are to War
dude.
Dancers. On the
You ain't wanna
tabletop,
mess with
Drach
him.
Masters were the captain version of regular Harganath executioners, but we've seen the Creative Assembly take these captain units previously and create a whole new tier of units out of them. Along the same idea are Black Ark Reavers, upgraded
Ark
Black Ark
Reaver.
Corsairs. Like Drach Masters, they're derived from the captain designation you could give to a unit on the tabletop, and they would do everything the Corsairs do, but a bit more of it. But just
But they have
upgrading existing
axes.
units isn't
That's
enough
cool.
to sell DLCs. What we need is something exciting.
Yes.
Manticore Riders. Flying, monstrous
Oh,
cavalry. A new addition for the Dark Elves based on their
yeah.
Dread Fleet roster. Manticores already appear in the Dark Elf
Perfect.
roster in a different form and make sense here.
Manticore
Originally, I actually
Riders.
felt Pegasi Riders
it.
with crossbows would fit better
Yeah.
here, but then I found out they're already in the game as a regiment of renown called Raven Heralds.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a shame they're not a regular recruitable unit.
Maybe these flying Pegasi units can be the same like the Glade Riders with swords. Yeah, but the weaker version and a regiment of renown. I mean, maybe we could get them just like the Glade Riders. I mean, it was a coincident unit. I mean, they had to add it because they had to complete the Glade Rider roster. And maybe they could be also with the same with the Dark Elves to complete that roster as well. You got like you got the original one, you got another I think like a very powerful one, and the Regiment of Renown. That could be possible.
And there's such an obvious extension of the Dark Elf roster that it makes me wonder if there was always a plan for this DLC or if it's something that was put together to bridge the gap to Warhammer 3. And finally, the big showpiece unit.
Yes,
the one that
the
stops
one
the
I've
trailer and makes everyone go, oh yeah,
Yeah.
and pre-order the DLC.
And also me playing my war right now. Could you imagine me playing Boku no Sensuo while watching the final DLC trailer for Warhammer 2? That could be funny.
The Spell Thirster Hydra.
Whoa!
In the lore,
Look at this dude! It's like a Hydra, but more designed. But why is it called the Spell... What again?
Spell Thirster Hydra.
The Spell Thirster Hydra? First, we have the original Hydra, then we have a Carabas, now the Spell Thirster Hydra? Wow.
In the lore, the Spell Thirster was a huge, magic-resistant Hydra created by Rakarth after he lost a fight to the High Elves and swore never to do it again.
Better luck out there, spellcasters.
Marathi carved magic words into its flanks, and while it was physically weaker as a Hydra, it was also suddenly magic resistance, and would be a great addition to help fight any magic-heavy armies.
Speaking of Marathi, can you imagine that's the starting unit for Marathi instead of a stupid, annoying Hydra? You know what? No. I think it's best to keep it that way, so you don't get the high tiers instead. It will just make the campaign even easier.
But he wouldn't be alone. There are two other variants of Hydra I would expect to make an appearance in Rakarth's campaign. All three of these Hydras come from an issue of White Dwarf magazine as variants for Hydras for Dark Elf armies. Veteran War Hydras are Hydras that have survived hundreds of battles. Their scales have been coated in a magical oil that gives them a shimmering appearance and chameleon-like abilities, adding missile resistance as well as additional leadership due to their experience.
Speaking of camouflage-like skin, I think this guy is perfect for hold up. This guy. I think he's perfect for ambush battles because camouflage could be useful that he can hide in trees. Could you imagine in the trailer, pops out from the tree, lunging towards a bunch of beastmen? Apparently Ongors.
Royal War Hydras are armor-plated and come with acid breath and acid blood that harms anyone that attacks them. These three variants could easily play back into Rakarth's collect and breed mechanic, allowing you to unlock different types of Hydra for your campaign. And that's my idea behind a Rakarth DLC. But I'll admit I'm not 100% sold on this prediction. That big statue of Cain teaser keeps taunting me. Talaris Dreadbringer could bring Draith Executioners, upgraded Sisters of Slaughter called Daughters of Despair, and even a big honking Avatar of Cain unit to the game, and they would all be perfectly on theme for it. I mean, sure, that unit has only been in Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40k, but this has already been a year of Warhammer firsts. But what do you think? Am I completely off base? And feel free to argue about it here or on our Discord. Who will be the DLC headliner for the Beastmen side, as well as the FLC? Because you'll notice I didn't include either of those here.
Okay, first, Rakarth. Yes, bring Rakarth to the game. We're going full Hydras right now on the trailer. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this reaction video of the DLC speculation by Cody Bonds for the final DLC for Total War Warhammer 2. And I've never done this for quite a while, so yeah. A disclaimer, I don't know anything in this. I'm just reacting to it. It's like this DLC is turning Hydras versus Bulls. I mean, wow, that could be really awesome. Like Rakarth and his dragon friends. Like the Black Dragon, the Hydras, all the monsters versus the Bulls of this dude, who is the next character for the Beastmen. So that is all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you guys want me to make more, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what to do next. Also, don't forget to subscribe Cody Bonds because he's been making so many Total War videos right now. So be sure to support both of us. I mean, I'm also a Total War gamer, but I sometimes make other videos that are not Total War content. But that's okay. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.